This is a story about the NBA, but it's also a story about Tesla. It's a story about exceptional players, such as Michael Jordan and LeBron James, doing impossible feats. But it's also a story that's happening now and will shape our future. It's an exciting story, and for Tesla investors, extremely so. Hey guys, welcome to Connecting the Dots, the podcast where we follow the breadcrumbs and try to predict where disruptions will take us. A few weeks ago, I had the unique experience of watching AI Day 22 in a live stream of the AI unicorn company which my friend co-founded and is CTO of. Following last year's AI Day, they swiveled their company's medium and long-term plans to focus on a world filled with bots. And my friend invited me to this live stream to help them avoid groupthink and to bounce ideas together. While working on a video with my takes from AI Day and that viewing party, I realized that one thing she told me was so important, it deserves its own video. This story of NBA, Tesla Agile, and CHOAM. If you haven't done that already, please smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. It really helps the channel if this happens early in the video. You can also support the channel on patreon.com/connectingnodots for as little as $1 a month, so I can keep creating content for you guys and send you my exclusive patron-only newsletter. There's a link in the description. And now, buckle up and get ready, because this is a story of huge disruption, and disruptions are never boring.
In all the engineering schools, the top engineering schools, the top choice of where everybody wants to work is Tesla or SpaceX. Those two places.
As we all know, every year Tesla and SpaceX win the first two spots as the most coveted workplaces for engineering students. Okay, great. But what does it mean? I mean, of course it's important, but bottom line, these are inexperienced rookies which have a long way before becoming experts in their field. And nobody works 40 years at the same workplace nowadays, so chances are they'll start at Tesla and get educated and experience there, and then move to other companies, which will be the ones reaping the real rewards, right? That's what I thought. Until during AI Day 2022, in the private messages between me and my friend, she singled out someone and wrote, "See him? That's a future LeBron." This completely recalibrated my thinking. Since AI Day is a hiring event, or a draft, maybe we should check the NBA draft for answers. Victor Wembanyama is an 18-year-old French basketball player, currently playing for the Metropolitans 92 team. Scoot Henderson is an 18-year-old American basketball player, playing for the G League Ignite in the NBA's G League. When their two teams played each other in Vegas a few weeks ago, it was as if time stood still in the world of NBA, and everyone watched their game. If you're new to the NBA, you might wonder what made this game so interesting, and that is that both Wembanyama and Henderson are the hottest prospects in the upcoming NBA draft. So this game gave us a peek into the future of the NBA. While both are exceptional players, I'll focus on one, Wembanyama. Wemby is considered a generational prospect, possibly the best since LeBron James was drafted in 2003. He is 7 feet 3 inches tall, and has an 8-foot wingspan, which should make him one of the tallest NBA players and the one with the largest wingspan. But while tall players are often clunky, Wemby is extremely athletic. As NBA draft expert Sam Vecini said, Wembanyama moves like a guy 5 inches shorter than he is, with real coordination. He's not very explosive, but his balance is wild for someone with this kind of length. He projects to be an incredible defender, but his craziest stuff actually tends to come on offense. He can take and knock down threes with confidence, as well as showcase some real skill off the bounce as a straight-line driver. Guys this big shouldn't be able to have this kind of impact at this level. With his amazing ability to block shots, even of players he's not defending, while shooting three-pointers as if it were child's play, there isn't a team that wouldn't want to draft him. And as we'll later see, some go to extreme lengths for a shot at this. The reason is that many teams, even from other leagues, can get very good players, and all NBA teams can get excellent players, because you really have to be an excellent player to play in the best league in the world. But Wembanyama isn't just excellent. He's a phenom, exceptional, one of a kind, and that's rare. Which brings me back to that first AI Day, when my friend ranted on her Facebook how Tesla will now get the best AI engineers and how hard this will be for other companies. And then when I interviewed her for my Tesla is CHOAM video, link in the card above, she said that after AI Day, Tesla will be able to cherry pick the brightest AI designers. She clarified that what she referred to were exceptionals, that any company, even VW, can get many AI engineers that are very good, and top companies such as Google can get many excellent ones, but exceptionals are rare. To push this through, she said that if AI was like getting you from London to Paris, then some AI engineers will take you into dead alleys and side roads while barely leaving London. Others will get you to Paris on highways, and excellent ones are like cab drivers with race driver genes, so they know every shortcut and they speed along the way and get you to Paris as fast as humanly possible. Or so you think, because the true exceptionals, the LeBrons and Michael Jordans of AI, are like fighter pilots waiting for you in a VTOL airplane, engines on, and before you even say what you want, they read your mind and take off, zooming towards the destination. So Tesla can get these exceptionals, but they're still rookies. What can a rookie do? Plenty, it seems. Going back to basketball, let's look at Magic Johnson. Johnson was drafted in 1979 by the Los Angeles Lakers to play alongside Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. While Abdul-Jabbar was a huge scorer, he failed to win a championship with the Lakers, and the Lakers hoped that adding Johnson would help them achieve that goal. Throughout the season, Johnson averaged 18 points, 7.7 rebounds, and 7.3 assists per game, won several awards, and most importantly, helped the Lakers score a 60-22 win-loss record and reach the NBA playoffs and ultimately win the championship. You could say, great, but he only helped Kareem. And that's true. But in Game 5 of the playoffs, Kareem sprained his ankle and couldn't play in remaining games. Magic was placed at center instead of his usual point guard and had to take all of Abdul-Jabbar's responsibilities. To push through how big this was, to this day, Kareem is still the NBA's top scorer of all time, and in that series, he averaged 33 points per game. And here, the coach told a rookie that is 5 inches shorter than him and averages 15 points less per game than him that he had to replace him. But Magic rose to the challenge, gave one of the most iconic clutch performances in NBA history, and won the championship for the team, which also won him the NBA Finals MVP award. In our talk, my friend said that with 2 exceptionals, she'll get better results faster than with 50 really good engineers. And I believe her. VW learned this the hard way. When they just started their Cariad project for an EV operating system and touted, to much fanfare, that they had 5,000 engineers working on it, I tweeted a picture of spaghetti, standing for spaghetti code, and said I'd much rather hear them say that they hired one hotshot to lead the project than 5,000 very capable guys. Years later, Cariad miserably failed, going behind schedule and seriously hurting VW's, Audi's, and Porsche's EV plans. But Magic was truly exceptional, and true exceptionals can do magic, which is not something achievable through mere quantity. Or as Elon said in the Q3 earnings call,
like 1 Nikola Tesla is frankly worth an infinite number of dollars. Well, you could have almost an infinite number of good engineers, and they would not be able to do what 1 Nikola Tesla could do. You can't make it up in volume.
So Tesla will get some amazing engineers in AI and other fields. But how big of a deal is it, considering that they'll leave Tesla after a few years? It's a huge deal for 3 reasons. The first reason is that what exceptionals mostly leave is their mark. Sure, these rookies are inexperienced, but with them being exceptionals, inexperience can also be an advantage. While most people need to learn how things are done and how certain problems should be approached, exceptionals can forge their own way. So these rookies come unencumbered by "that's how it's done" instructions that often taint experienced engineers' thoughts. This helps these exceptional rookies to freshly approach problems from first principles and arrive at genius solutions, such as gigacastings and structural pack, as they're running in places where regular engineers don't dare tread.
It's all about creating the right questions. Well, if you want to create innovation in your organization, I am always bringing new voices to the table. New voices come up with new conversations, come up with new decisions, new ideas. Every single year, I bring somebody new to the C-suite. Every single year. And the reason is new blood has fresh thinking. They have a fresh voice. They have a fresh perspective, and they shake things up a little bit. If you're getting those new voices, you want new conversations, you need to ask new questions. So new questions, new voices, new experiments. Twitter was an experiment. It sounded like an idiotic idea, a couple guys on the side doing as a project, and it took off and all. You got to try experiments. Most aren't going to work. And I think that if you try new experience, you get new voices, you're asking new questions, you're going to stimulate new answers. But most people do the same thing. And also, when you start saying, I don't have the idea, and you believe I don't have the right ideas, you don't even look for them anymore, right? It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy.
And these exceptionals are also the ones that give Tesla the one thing more important than any moat: its rapid pace of innovation, which is faster than any of its competitors. They work hard to solve the hardest of problems, and even if they someday leave the company, they first help to make progress and move the company ahead. They leave the company, but their mark remains. But that's not the only reason that having these engineers is a huge advantage for Tesla, and the second reason is that rookies don't always leave. Going back to that NBA analogy, Magic Johnson spent his entire career with the Lakers and led them to win 5 championships. LeBron played with the Cavaliers for 7 years before leaving them for the Miami Heat, but after a few years in Miami, he came back to play 4 more years with the Cavs and lead them to a championship. In fact, in most cases, star players remain with the team long after their rookie contract is up. A very telling exception is Shaquille O'Neal, which only left for the Lakers after giving Orlando Magic many chances. But the Magic did every mistake you could imagine in trying to keep him with them. These stupid mistakes just about killed their own dynasty while reviving the Lakers. And the same goes for engineers and AI designers. People do change jobs. And unlike the NBA, AI professionals are free agents. So sure, they could leave for other companies or for academia. But like Magic Johnson, many will stay with Tesla for years to come. And like LeBron, others will leave elsewhere, only to come back more well-rounded. And maybe even Andrej Karpathy will rejoin Tesla one day. Who knows?
I'm happy to potentially at some point come back for Act 2.
And there's a third reason that hiring these exceptionals is so important for Tesla, and that is that it's not only rookies. That yearly poll where Tesla and SpaceX alternate in being the most attractive employer for engineering students is a bit misleading, as it shifts focus to students, while in fact, they are just one example of Tesla being hugely attractive. A wider view would show that they've become attractive to engineers in general, not just rookies. It's true that work there is stressful, and many experienced engineers prefer to have less stressful 9-to-5 jobs, but this only means that they'll give these companies far less than they gave at Tesla. In addition, as I showed in my Agile at Tesla video, link in the card above, exceptional engineers want to work hard if that work is meaningful, and in that, Tesla wins. In fact, promising meaningful challenges is exactly how Elon's companies attract exceptional players. Here's what Dolly Singh, SpaceX's previous head of talent, had to say.
I jokingly describe myself as the Pied Piper of super nerds. My role is essentially to go find people 1,000 times smarter than me, get them excited about solving a really hard problem. One of the ways that we explained what the SpaceX culture was, and this was in order to be really honest with people. SpaceX is special forces. We take on the missions that others deem impossible. This will be the hardest thing you will ever do in your life. It is the kind of personality that wants to be a Navy SEAL, the engineering equivalent of that. It will be bruising and punishing and uncomfortable every day.
Before checking how these exceptionals will affect Tesla's future, let's return to the NBA and check what else is needed to building a winning team. I mean, shouldn't teaming Kareem with Magic Johnson be enough for winning? Shouldn't having LeBron in your roster be enough to get ahead? Having them is great, but apparently not enough, and you need a coach. Take 5 great superstars and put them together without a coach, and you're more likely to get 5 solo shows rather than a season-dominating TEAM. A coach needs to teach his players to put their egos aside and start working together as a team. He needs to try new tactics and strategies. He needs to understand the problems ahead and help the players see them and tackle them. And most of all, he needs to enable the players to bring out the most of themselves. In the words of Tom Landry, a coach is someone who tells you what you don't want to hear, who has you see what you don't want to see, so you can be who you have always known you could be. And this isn't just theory. In 2014, the Golden State Warriors hired Steve Kerr as their head coach. In his first season as head coach, Kerr broke various coaching records. He became the first coach to start his stint with a 19-2 record. But more importantly, Kerr helped the Warriors finish with what was their best record in franchise history, with a 67-15 record, which made them enter the postseason as the top seed in the Western Conference. Kerr then took the Warriors to their first championship in 4 decades. So exceptional players are ultra important, but yeah, so are exceptional coaches. So let's talk about Tesla's coaches. Chances are that you now expect me to name Elon, but in fact, Tesla has 2 coaches. The first, of course, is Elon. He inspires, he helps, he builds confidence, and he sees ahead. Most of all, he made Tesla into a lean, mean, and agile company with a flat structure and very little red tape, bullshit, and internal politics compared to other companies its size. I'll talk some more about this in the Agile section, but for now, let's just hear what SpaceX co-founder Tom Mueller has to say about Elon.
He said, a company is a bunch of vectors. Each person is a vector, and they need to point in the direction that you want to go. bureaucracy and office politics and low morale. It's almost random vectors. He was always about making all the vectors, which all the employees, pointing in the right direction forward, moving forward.
And here's Dolly Singh again, speaking about the first successful landing of the Falcon booster.
It was incredible. That was one of the best days of my life. I'm really thankful for seeing firsthand that humanity can do impossible things. And they are only impossible until somebody pulls them off. Elon is never satisfied, but that is what makes him who he is.
Look at it, it's just sitting there. Look at that. What? Holy smokes, man.
I think he's an incredible gift to the world. He is arguably the best leader on the face of the planet. I would take the bad with the good, because if you mess with the recipe, you might mess with the magic. His brain is fundamentally more efficient. There are times where, like, I might think I disagree, but, like, he's probably, like, thought it through in a way that I haven't thought about it. If he asks me to jump, I'm gonna ask him how high.
Tesla's employees also help their fellow workers and bring them up to speed. But for me, the second coach that Tesla has besides Elon is its digital self-management AI. As Joe Justice revealed, Tesla employees have intricate access into the company's operations on their smartphones, computers, and monitors, and the system's AI tells them about Tesla's current problems and needs. It gives them instant feedback regarding the quality of their work and which points should be improved. This system is keystone to Tesla's agile operations, which we shall touch now. For me, the most important things that Elon and DSM instilled in Tesla are first principles engineering and the agile mindset. Everything else follows. But to see them at work, let's go back to Magic and Wemby. Magic was exceptional as a point guard, arguably the greatest point guard of all time. But he was also a multi-talent that excelled in everything. When asked to replace Kareem at center in an extremely decisive game, instead of bitching that it's not what he got paid for and crying that he wants his mommy, he rose to the occasion and delivered a truly inspiring performance. Magic scored 42 points, grabbed 15 rebounds, and had 7 assists. And Victor Wembanyama excels as a power forward, but he too is a multi-talent that has his hands in everything. On offense, Wembanyama is a good shooter and three-point shooter, and is a good shot creator with excellent ball handling skills. Defensively, he's known for his shot blocking instincts. LeBron James said of him, "I've never seen, no one's ever seen, anyone as tall as he is, but is this fluid and graceful on the floor." So Wemby too does whatever's needed for the team to win. Likewise in Tesla, when the going gets tough, the tough go agile. Your credentials and job title don't mean a lot, it's actually what you do, and the value you bring to tackling the mission that count. GM's management resides in impressive towers, and GM's CEO spends part of her time with politicians and subsidy givers. But Joe Justice says you'll find Elon wherever the current bottleneck is, helping to find solutions to pressing problems.
Again, these were choke points in the entire production system. That's why I'm running around the production line trying to fix the production line, just like a maniac, sort of Tasmanian devil, just running around the factory like a lunatic.
Helping to find solutions to pressing problems, and even drilling holes by himself, shoulder to shoulder with others if needed. It's not that he spends his time drilling, others do that better, but he's a kick-ass engineer and a problem solver, and if the currently pressing problem requires drilling, he wouldn't wait for something like a union-registered Class 2 drill operator with 5-year tenure to arrive. He'll just drill the hole himself and go on running towards a solution. But Tesla has many exceptionals, and Elon isn't the only multi-talent. So when Model 3 went through production hell, engineers from all over the company, even those working on Solar Roof, were called to help. Other companies are departmentalized, and if you do solar, then that's what you do. And automobile production hell is another department's problem. But with Tesla, DSM tells you where the pressing problems are, and if you're exceptional and can help, you're encouraged or even expected to leave less important or urgent duties and go help where the real problems are. And it's not just in engineering. In the BBC's excellent documentary series, The Elon Show, former Tesla VP George Blankenship tells with huge emotions and pride how in 2013, the company faced a then impossible mission of delivering 4,500 cars in a single quarter. To enable meeting that goal, engineers left their computers and washed cars for delivery. Some even flew over from Europe to help deliver cars. It's not the most efficient way to do things, but meeting the deadline was a problem that was critical for the entire company. so everyone that could help did. And Farzad said that his work as an analyst in Tesla had little to do with his background, but there were pressing problems, and instead of telling him to do what he was hired for, while leaving bigger problems open until they hire someone to solve them, on his first days at work, they just took him to where the problems were and trusted him to use his brain creatively and come up with solutions. And he did well, so had the privilege, yes, privilege, of helping solve greater and greater problems. Farzad also told of material handlers taking part in designing the distribution center. In other companies, they wouldn't have a say, but in Tesla, they're welcome to do so, and their ideas proved invaluable. Tesla's coach, Elon, inspires you with the company's important mission and trusts you to do whatever you think is best for advancing this mission. And Tesla's coach, DSM, gives you the tools to find problems which need solving, and then feedback on how effective your efforts to solve them are. No quibbling about job descriptions, no red tape in doing a different job than you were hired for, or in having to learn another skill. You just do what it takes. And no worries. If you're good, you'll be compensated for it, and you'll help the stock price rise. And more importantly, you're advancing the mission. Let's listen to Elon.
But we certainly need those that are doing advanced engineering to be innovative. And ideally, everyone is at least to some degree innovative. So at the interview point, we select for people who want to create new technology. And then the incentive structure is set up such that innovation is rewarded. Making mistakes along the way does not come with a big penalty. But failure to try to innovate at all comes with a big penalty. You'll be fired. If you don't even try, or somebody doesn't even try to innovate, or their innovation aspirations are not very good, then yeah, they will no longer be at the company.
This might seem like a lot of work, and honestly it is, but it's also extremely satisfying. I have had the pleasure of working on extremely agile and stressful projects, as well as less stressful, more conventional ones. And I assure you that despite the hard work, or maybe because of it, I never had more fun than in agile ones. And these are the ones I remember most fondly. In one such example, an extremely smart engineer in a company I worked for heard of an army tender for some system and had a unique idea of how to do it that was years ahead of its time. Once he got the company on board, he asked me to lead the development of a computer system that would control his own creation. And I too came up with a breakthrough of my own, a decade ahead of its time. We had serious technological problems to solve, but if that's not enough, we entered the tender only 3 months before working demonstrators from all competitors had to compete with each other in a test, while all the competing firms have been working on it for almost 3 years. I kid you not. But you realize the importance, and you arrange everything so you can move fast, and everyone works like never before, and you have no idea how satisfying it was to meet and even beat this impossible schedule. Let me know below if you'd like me to continue the Agile at Tesla series I previously started. Link is in the card above. Let's listen to Elon again.
In terms of our competitiveness, I think it mostly comes down to our pace of innovation. Our pace of innovation is much, much faster than the big aerospace companies or the sort of country-driven systems. And this is generally true. If you look at innovation from large companies or from smaller companies are generally better at innovating than larger companies. And it has to be that way from a Darwinian standpoint, because smaller companies would just die if they didn't try innovating. Because otherwise people just keep buying the product from the big company. Then, well, why is SpaceX more innovative? I think it's probably because we've got like a super engineering driven culture. I mean, we're running kind of the Silicon Valley operating system. It's kind of hard to describe. Like, it's like, how do you describe Linux? Like Linux is more efficient than some other operating systems. Exactly why? It's like, you really have to get into the weeds. But you have a fairly flat hierarchy. You promote rapid communication. Sort of a best ideas wins culture, as opposed to this, having the seniority of the person decide the solution. Which, I mean, that should never be the case in engineering. It should always be, a rational basis. And I also believe that, in terms of at the leadership level, I'd much rather promote someone who has strong engineering ability than so-called management ability.
Some call it stressful, but for exceptional engineers, being allowed to spread their wings and daily achieve the impossible means vitality and fun. Like Magic in the playoffs, and like Wemby scoring 37 points in that game against Henderson, they deliver clutch performances. They accelerate the company, and even humanity forward. And they're having the time of their lives. Very few companies can offer anything near that. And by letting engineers spread their wings and fly high, Elon's companies gain a pace of innovation faster than anyone. Tesla makes 3 changes per car model per day, and SpaceX eats Russian hackers for lunch. In the words of Dave Temper, the Pentagon's director of electronic warfare, from an electronic warfare technologist perspective, that is fantastic. That is kind of eye-watering to me. The way that Starlink was able to upgrade when a threat showed up. We need to be able to have that ability. We have to be able to change very dynamically what we're trying to do without losing capability along the way. Now let's see what all this says about Tesla's future. The NBA draft is structured so that lower-ranked teams have a better chance of drafting the best players. And since exceptional players like Wemby and Henderson are so important, this raised a strategy known as tanking. Tanking is a straight race to the bottom, in which teams intentionally try to lose games, just so they'll rank low this year and have a better chance of drafting star players in the upcoming draft. Losing this year's battle for a chance of winning a multi-year war is in fact smart. Sun Tzu would approve, but it's awfully ugly for fans paying to see their team fight and win, so NBA management does its best to stop it. In 1985, they introduced a lottery system into the draft, and then made the lottery weighted, and played several times with the weights. But try as they did, tanking never stopped. In fact, the allure of drafting exceptionals is so big that today, 37 years after the lottery was introduced in 1985, there's still a huge buzz about several teams tanking this season in hope of signing Wembanyama or Henderson in the 2023 draft. The reason that NBA favors lower-ranked teams is very clear. Without it, the season would be boring. The best players want to play for the best teams, and these winning teams generally have more money to pay exceptional players. So without having the draft favor less successful teams, 1 or 2 dominant teams would consistently pick the best of the best, while all other teams settle for leftovers. Pretty soon, the league would become a boring monopoly, or duopoly, with 1 or 2 teams dominating almost every game they play, with all others settling for also-rans. But the real world doesn't care about boring, so there's no need for tanking, and the winning and most exciting teams can hire almost anyone they want. In other words, total domination can arrive. Last year, when I asked my CTO friend to sum up AI Day, she said that if AI companies have magnets with which to attract talent, then Tesla slammed its magnet to the ground mid-field and made the magnet much denser, and it will soon start pulling talent from all around. And the more they pull, the denser they will be. So there's even a risk of it turning into a black hole that sucks up any talent they have their sights on. She added that AI Day was brilliant, absolutely fucking brilliant, because AI guys will now flock to Tesla, and Tesla will be able to cherry pick people by just sending them the recording. Time proved her right. After the first AI Day, Tesla's applications for AI jobs increased 100-fold, which enabled them to move faster on FSD, Dojo, and Optimus, and resulted in this year's event showing a large team of talented players presenting huge progress.
Basically, Elon said at one point we're doing this, and then next day, basically, like all these CAD models started to appear, and people talking about like the supply chain and manufacturing, and people showed up with like screwdrivers and everything like the other day and started to like put together the body, and I was like, whoa, like all these people exist at Tesla.
So this year, once AI Day 2022 was over, I asked her to again sum it up. In reply, she sent me 2 words: game over. This was pretty much confirmed in Tesla's Q3 earnings call.
Our goal with that AI Day was recruiting, and we've seen a massive influx of world-class artificial intelligence engineer and scientist resumes. So it generated a tremendous amount of interest from some of the best AI researchers in the world. I can't emphasize the importance of this enough, because I think it finally has become clear to the smartest AI technologists in the world that Tesla is among the very best.
Everyone can be wrong, including my friend. But so far, so many of her early predictions have proven accurate. I'll show this in detail in the main video that I'm making on my insights from watching AI Day with her. But for now, just take my word, saying she was extremely accurate and with no significant misses. But there's one prediction which I can't check yet, and only time will tell. Here's a short excerpt from the original video. I said she referred to Tesla as CHOAM and asked her to elaborate. How much does she see Tesla growing? 10x? 100x? She said in a contemplating tone, and I quote, 10x? No. 100x? 1000x? 10,000x? Unlimited, really. We can't even grasp how big they can get. You know, it's hard to imagine because we never had anything this big in our entire history. That's why I called them CHOAM. It's the only thing I could compare them to, so that people would get how big this size is from the future. It's science fiction. CHOAM is the name of the largest company ever in Frank Herbert's science fiction book, Dune. In the book, this company controls all trade in the galaxy and is much larger than today's Apple, Saudi Aramco, Google, and Meta combined. And my friend was the first to call Tesla that way, 2 or 3 days after Optimus was first announced. And after that first AI day, she put her money where her mouth is and put everything that she saved for a house on Tesla stock and sold her car and put it too on Tesla. And she is all in, as are most of her friends, family, and colleagues. And she shifted her company to gear up to a world with bots. And all this based on one hiring event where Tesla showed a dancing person in a costume but slammed its magnet to the ground mid-field. And everything since then indicates she was right. So when I asked her how she feels about seeing her house money shrink in half since she entered, she answered, long-term, only long-term, and that she's very happy. This year's AI Day strengthened her conviction a lot. I too am extremely happy with this year's AI Day. I'll put the deets in another video, but for now, let's focus on hiring. The Wembanyama-Henderson match gave us a peek into the future of NBA, not just because of what they did, but more because it showed the potential of what they could do. And in AI Day 2022, its presenters and the prospects in the audience all gave us a peek into the future of AI. The potential seems endless. I agree with my friend. Game over indeed. Now open your mind. Let's imagine something together. Imagine the NBA draft is a free-for-all, where every player can go to every team. And imagine the Warriors, or the Lakers, or your favorite team, sign Wembanyama. Now, imagine they also sign Scoot Henderson, and Amen Thompson, and Nick Smith, and Derek Whitehead, and most other exciting prospects. Some they cherry-pick, others apply to join. But it isn't an all-rookie team. They also have Steph Curry, but they're also signing Kevin Durant, Jason Tatum, Nikola Jokic, and many others. Not every star player joins, but so many do. And they have Steve Kerr as head coach, with his assistants Ty Lue, Eric Spoelstra, and Jason Kidd, all dividing different aspects between them and providing instant feedback whenever players are free for it. And the players know that each move they do can win a championship. Each play is important, so clutch performances become the new norm. And there's no rule that only 5 can play at a time. The court is large and with many hoops, so they all play together and score for the team. Now imagine this team dominating the league. And this team is Tesla, and it's making the bot. And Tesla is CHOAM. Elon said Tesla will be bigger than Apple and Saudi Aramco combined. I too see it bigger. Much, much bigger. Let me know what you think. Will Tesla pull many exceptionals in AI and other fields? Will they succeed in making the bot, and will they become CHOAM? What is your price target for 10 years from now? And do you want me to continue the Agile at Tesla series I started several months ago? Let me know below. I read all your comments. A special thank you to James and to Lavery Adams 84 on Twitter for their help in NBA research. If you found this video interesting, please like and subscribe to help me start growing the channel. Also, consider supporting me on Patreon for as low as $1 a month. It'll really help me invest more time so I can deliver quality content faster. So if you want to support the channel and get access to my exclusive patron-only newsletter, you can head over to patreon.com and together we can make this channel grow. A big thank you to Roy Whiprud and Team JG for your super thanks. And a special shout out to my latest patrons, Irvin Wright, S. Garner, Patrick Lucas, John Steelstra, Paul Uma Wilson, Eugene Karmazin, John Huntington, and Nick Fredrickson. And to all my patrons, you guys rock. You can follow me on Twitter where I am Connecting No Dots. I tweet several times a day with everything from long threads analyzing Tesla matters to making memes and hanging out with you guys. So, see you there. Until next time, I am Connecting the Dots, and you are amazing.